This is recording.
Playing from Christina's A14.
This is recording 697. I'm coming down with laryngitis. So I have more crimes to report and then more decode to go over with you. So okay, so there was a crime, I believe it was a poisoning. I just saved the key points of it. Jean committed this crime. There was the outbreak in Massachusetts, Colorado, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, Kansas, Georgia, California, Utah, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico. Okay, so as you know, Jean Roberts and her Manson occult have been hacking my employer's work computers, but it's not just only my employer that Jean Roberts and her Manson occult have been hacking, but wherever I am, she's going to be hacking. But then again, wherever I am, you know, CIA Secret Service is going to be on because Jean loves to perp as a cop. Earlier they said, not my employer, Jean Roberts and her Manson occult, they were screaming in my brain and AI. Their voices were coming. I was sitting in the back, or I was in here in my room, but their voices were coming back here like 2 streets up to the left or 3 streets up. But they said, it's our job. And then somebody said, no, it is not your job to run child rape rings or to rape kids and commit terrorism. That is not your job. It's not your job to stalk Christina. It's not your job to cover for Jean Roberts. That's not your job. And whoever is cutting through over my voice overlay right now, acting like they're scolding them. See, you guys all do that to your damn selves. That's fucking hilarious. Jean Roberts. Jean Roberts is not a cop. They love to mother their ring of fucking criminals. Sorry about the cursing, but again, she puts F words in my sentences. So anyway, they're obviously on because they obviously know that I know that she committed another terror attack, which is a shooting that she did in Washington, D.C. that's still on the news right now, which I'm getting ready to go over. But I'm going over additional crimes right now. So anyway, decoding just part, and I just did it real quick because it's like you can figure the rest out. So just to be able to prove that Jean Roberts is the one who committed this crime, number one, you know, because they're already on thanking themselves with their nasty little occult. And then the decode that I saw quickly was she's using North Fork. She's using North Fork and Ash Fork as a theme in committing terrorism. And that is based from me decoding her stalking me and my mom and Jeff back in the 70s, okay? So she was stalking my mom's best friends, Sharon and Tom. Tom worked for Tonto National Forest, okay? And then also my grandma Wilson, she stalked them also, Jean Jernigan Roberts, which you guys know that, going through all the recordings. So we used to always go camping in the White Mountains, okay? So it's all based around Sharon and Tom and the White Mountains. I decoded a bunch of ciphers. I found a bunch of Abajos in Arizona. So she's using that all as a theme. And again, she's using Thanksgiving as a theme. And she's probably pretending to be Native American doing it. But Native Americans are now very wise to Jean. So I don't know why Jean keeps it up. She's doing everybody a favor. What she does is she pretends to be me, Christina, in 2 different directions, as I told you. She pretends to be me, and her terrorists run around committing crime. Then again, she pretends to be me, and she steals my decode, my decoded ciphers, okay? She writes the damn demon ciphers. I decode her ciphers and prove that she committed the crime. she doesn't want to refer to her ciphers because she's the one that committed the crime. So, and to keep up her act or charade of pretending to be me, she steals my decoded ciphers, and then she acts like she's some super secret special informant and stealing my identity. So she's got a group of people doing that and a group of people doing the other. And then she's got different groups of people doing different things. Some people work over the media. There's all kinds of criminal ass shit Gene Roberts is doing. But anyway, so that's why my podcast, just keep turning her in until her ass is arrested. Anyway, so you can tell that Jean committed this crime. So then the next one is United States. There was a lot of crimes that she committed. I checked the RSOE. There's a lot of crimes that she committed, but I can't document them all. There are that many every week. Okay. And it's that times 100. Okay. So just going off of the biggest ones reported, there's too many. Okay. And then think of all the everyday crime everywhere. Okay. So her occult is that huge, hiding worldwide. So United States, ransomware attack disrupts local emergency alert systems across the U.S. So this again, you can tell Gene Roberts committed this crime. She is like, I'm like building a SharePoint site right now, and she tries to hack my SharePoint constantly. And it pisses me off, and I'm just like told in my brain and mental telepathy, ignore her. Just do your best at getting your job done. Everybody knows she's hacking everybody. Everybody knows she's a terrorist. Just do your best at getting your job done. She is. And then she said last week, she told me in my brain, Gene Roberts, she wasn't telling me, she was telling somebody else, and she was in her like whiny little girl voice. And she goes, it's a publicity stunt. No, it's fucking not a publicity stunt, Gene. And now she's making me respond back all snotty because she thinks it's fucking funny, like she's going to get away with it. Anyway, so Gene Roberts committed that crime too. In the United States, one person hospitalized after a home explosion in Northeast Albuquerque. Albuquerque Fire Rescue is investigating an overnight explosion at a house in Northeast Albuquerque. Crews were called to a residence on Walker Drive near Lomas and Eubank around 10:30 p.m. Sunday to reports of a home explosion. So you can tell that Jean did this because she used Albuquerque. And then yesterday I saw somebody driving by with a vehicle that said Monteverde on the back. And then on my way home, I had George Michael playing my playlist. She's controlling like which songs places she can abuse all the music and tell lies to everybody and all her usual antic ass fucking shit. But anyway, she was trying to tell somebody that's in a ball, like they're trying to like signal to people what's going on when I have a podcast. Anybody paying attention to her playing fucking environmental dollies by painting the environment with artificial intelligence lies or gossip, and depending on her and not like listening to actual reports. I mean, you're feeding her a cult con. She is a goddamn terrorist and a trafficker. So anyway, Lomas. So Lomas, see all code on Ladmo, Lamo, Lano, Estanato. She's using Loma Linda is what she's using here. And then also, okay, so hang on a second here. It's a reference to Marilyn Monroe. See all code on Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so another one is Tornado leaves behind significant path of destruction in Houston area. So remember when I told you she started a fire up north? Okay, so that links to this. She spawned this tornado, and it ripped through Harris County, Texas, and it was near Houston. She committed this tornado. So those two crimes are connected. Now she's controlling an ad, and she's got it on my phone. It's a McQueen ad, and she's got some skinny lady with short brown hair and legs talking to an African American male and another really skinny female. I mean, it's just freaking ridiculous. So I don't know what she thinks she's accomplishing, like controlling ad placement like that. Because I think they're getting away with it. And it's not African Americans doing it. Is Gene Roberts and her freaking twats. Okay, Gene Roberts is the twat. Call African Americans. She's controlling Christina's speech, trying to distract her. Please ignore. Okay, so what was the one? Okay, so you guys know she did this shooting too. National Guard shooting, an act of evil, Trump says. Trump knows, I could tell by his quote and his words, that Gene Jernigan Roberts and her Manson occult committed the crime because he said something about the word steep. So he's making an Alice in Wonderland reference. And Gene has been making tea references the past couple of days. And she's like all slobbering in my mouth. And she's like, Probably people are signaling Gene is trying to work Trump over. So Trump is the president of the United States. He cannot be worked over. He knows exactly what Gene Roberts is trying to do. She commits a crime. She tries to racket the crime. She's got an entire twat network, her little makeshift freaking Charlie's Angels out trying to distract everyone and spreading lies for her and making her money. And then she spreads the lies and she commits terrorism, and then she tries to racket it, and they all act like they're little freaking Charlie's Angels cops. It's just a bunch of fucking con ass, terrorist ass, child rape, trafficking fucking shit. Okay, and Gene is holding people hostage. Gene has ballistics. JeanRoberts. So while Gene's running this merry-go-round freaking con, once it's over, Gene Roberts will be arrested, and so will all her little nasty motherfuckers. She's controlling my speech. So will the rest of her people. So anyway, 2 National Guard members from West Virginia, so you know instantly the West Virginia. And then, let's see. Then it was 2 people that were shot. You know, that's Gene's favorite number. And then they've given a name of somebody, and look, his name has got Lake in it, and then it's got Walrus. Okay, so I decoded a crime the other day where she's using her I Am the Walrus theme again, and somebody pointed out to me, look, she's using Walrus again. But I didn't get it in the recording, but everybody already knows to look for that. Well, she heard that, and so she's committing another crime. So whoever she's using at the end, Gene Roberts, one of Gene Roberts' people. So his last name is Lakanwal. And then Okay, so it was at the FARRAGUT West Metro Station. So Farragut. So Gene Roberts committed the crime there too. Is this a different story or is this the same one? Because Heidi Coda, she committed this crime too. This is the same one. This is the same one. Okay. So she committed this crime, and you can tell she committed this crime. Also, she got really excited because we had a cold snap come in, and so my tires went low. She's messing with the fluids in my car. Like, it's about time for me to get an oil change, and she's keeping track of my car. So she's somehow draining the fluids from my vehicle. So by the time my oil change is done, or by the time I need an oil change, I'm out of fluid. Okay, so she lets air out of my tires, so as soon as a cold snap hits, and it looks like all my tires are low. And she just thinks she's cute as hell as doing that. And she's also signaling to me that she's tricking African Americans, because if you are doing that, you would be tricking African Americans, that she's tricking African Americans into dressing up as like pioneer women, or older and like, like the early like 18 to 1400s, and then has them dressing up and has them breaking in for her, is what she is signaling to me using the media. So nobody should be helping Gene Roberts. You see what a picture of what she looks like, okay? She's using artificial intelligence and gossip and lies on the street. So if there's anybody breaking in on her behalf, please stop. So anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh, so anyway, my tires go low, right? And I'm like, well, the cold air just hit. And then somebody goes, no, she let air out of your tires to have it time out for the release when the cold air hit. She's messing with your car. Now she's burping me or whatever. So I don't know what makes you think committing terrorism and committing assassinations and running child trafficking rings and thinking you're just the Blanca prima donna of the planet, Gene, and you can trick anybody into doing anything for you. But you need to quit. You guys got to arrest her. I'm tired of this. I'm literally tired of this. Her stalking, her terrorism, everything. So anyway, I'll just go put air back in my tires. So, but she is not only doing that to my car. I see her doing that to multiple cars around the city. Like if I'm driving through town or whatever, I see her obviously controlling people's driving. Like she's ice raping motorists everywhere. Okay. I mean, everywhere. I can tell. I can see it. Okay. So besides her ice raping people driving while they're driving cars or vehicles, I see she's messing with people's cars themselves. Like she's breaking people's cars down. It's not just causing car accidents, but like she's lowering, abrasing and lowering the cars. She makes them loose on the frame. She does all kinds of wacko shit. And she's doing that to cars freaking everywhere. She's messing with everybody's everything everywhere. So she committed these shootings. Okay, and then now she's using an app that's on my phone, and she's acting like she's rolling her eyes. Well, I'm trying to make a report against her. Okay, so anyway. All right, and then let me see here. . Okay, so the guardsman got, okay, we'll pay a very steep price. And then it was at, the shooting was at 17th and I Street. You know that was Jean. You know, because she used syrup. You know how much she loves the number 9. Okay, so also she's using the people that she's choosing in the press to speak, or in intelligence to speak. You know, she's choosing specific people. So this person's name is Carolyn Levitt. Okay, so she's making a reference to Lyle Lovett, and she's making a reference to Levi's, a CL code Levi, back to the Holy Bible, back to me in 6th grade. Jean's got some adult fantasy lie that she spreads that goes along with her whole, you know what she freaking did. Okay, so she's selling Levi's like that. So I don't wear jeans anymore. I was like, I ignore her and obviously turn her in. But I don't wear jeans anymore, not until Jean is arrested. I'm not going to sit there and help that bitch who is guilty for committing terrorism and running child rape rings and guilty for assaulting children, including her assaulting me, which is what I just got to talking about, all the way even from when I was a baby. And she uses the name Jean. That's really the name that she goes by. That's how everybody knows her. But like I told you, everything about her is fraud. I'm not going to freaking wear any denim, anything, helping her freaking sell anyone. I'm going to keep turning her in. So usually what people do is if they wear jeans, they're like, Jean does not dictate my life. I'll just do whatever the hell I want. Or if they refer to them, they just refer to them as blues. So they're not using the word denim. And so they're not using the word jeans. They're not going to sit there and tout and worship the old hippie bitch. They're not going to fucking do that. So they use the word blues instead. Dozens dead after fire engulfs high-rise block in Hong Kong. She started a fire in Hong Kong. She's using, it's in the Tai Po district. She's using T'Pau, the musical artist, CL code. She started that fire. Aid flight crashes in South Sudan. All 3 crew members were killed in the incident. A representative of the humanitarian group has said an aircraft carrying food supplies for the humanitarian group Samaritan's Purse went down in South Sudan's Unity State. So she's using the SS there. She's using Unity. And as you guys know, I'm in Oxford, right? And so she spies in the house. And what you guys know that she's got cameras in here somehow. And plus she tries to hustle people. But anyway, to get them to get involved with her nasty shit, well, Oxford has something called Unity Dinners. So Jeannie's using that. And then also there's a famous R&B song. I can't remember who sings it, called UNITY. So she's using that. And then the Lear airstrip. So the LA CL code. And then she's using Lee again. And then Lear and then CL code there. So you know she committed that crime also. And then the plane operated by Nary Air. So Jean, as soon as I see Nary Air, Jean stabs an inject in my brain. And she's like, all like, in my brain. That's literally how she is. And she's going, Nair, Nair, in my brain, bragging about the freaking hair removal freaking crap that she has ownership in or that she owns. And she's literally telling me on herself for committing this crime and all freaking excited about getting away with it. And I'm just like, would you freaking shut up? So anyway, Um, she's also used spinning a word around Iran Air, which again would be a revenge attack. She knows, I know she crashed planes. And again, she's just going to blame everybody else. So, so she crashed this plane. And then also, the article mentioned this might be another crime I already decoded and turned Jean in for. I think I did turn her in for this one. This past January, a Beechcraft 1900 aircraft operated by Eagle Air. I think I already turned her in for this one too. So she uses beach as a theme. Chris Craft is a boat. There's my stepdad's first boat. And then Beech Nut, is also baby food. And then Eagle Air, and then the Unity State, and then this crime she committed took 20 out of 21 lives. So Jean committed these crimes, and I'm sorry about her controlling my speech and my enunciation, and you can tell that she's doing that because my throat is already sore. So she's wanting me to go about her, but I'm like, she's controlling my speech to do that. So it tells you she's number one, she doesn't care about committing any crime. And then also her eye rolling. She doesn't care about killing anybody. She doesn't care about committing crime. All she wants is me to not be able to make reports against her. And then also, so today, when I got home from work, you wouldn't believe who came on. I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, ugh. But anyway, she did that stab in my brain thing again, where she's trying to force shove her lie through. So, how on the movie, I'll take The Parent Trap because it's the only movie I've seen people do this in, but it's probably done in all kinds of movies. But anyway, The Parent Trap, where Hayley Mills, the actress, is one person, but she's playing the role of her sister, okay? And so they use a split screen, and they merge the film together so it looks like it's two girls, but it's really just Hayley Mills. Okay, so Jean was using that, and she went, and did her mic drop. She was using that as their excuse out of everybody knowing that there's footage of her doing the World Trade Center attack, and she was signaling that she was going to use that as a cover-up to get out of people having video that she did the World Trade Center attacks, the previous recordings. Just as snotty as hell. I'm like, you're stupid. You people are stupid. So anyway, not amusing stupid. No, you're effing stupid. You're stupid and you're deadly and you're disgusting. Anyway, or what was I saying about this? Okay, so she pulls one of these things in my brain, so my brain lights up, and I see this big open area, which is the same open area as a rehab I was in here in Tulsa. And it was it's a big, gigantic open area, okay? And sitting in the center of it is this really, really, really blonde dude, right? And he's got on a black t-shirt, and it's a Patagonia t-shirt. It's got a circle on it, and it's all rainbowy. And then somebody goes, that's Patagonia. And they go, remember how people told you she made an app called Petunia Pig? That's probably what it is. It's Patagonia. But anyway, so he's sitting there, he's really blonde. He's Caucasian. He's really blonde, and he's got this thing of liquor that's like a gigantic liquor bottle, like the big fat big ones, okay. And so a full gigantic bottle of liquor. And then sitting next to him, but he's not really sitting next to him. Like I told you, it's like this blended screen work, is my cousin, Jason. Okay. And Jason seems to know what's going on. And he's telling me, look at this asshole. Like he's pointing to me, look at this fucking asshole. And the guy is like looking straight at me, and he starts drinking out of the liquor bottle. Like, what you gonna do? So anyway, then Gene in the back end is stabbing and saying that he's the chief of police. And then I was like looking at him even more, and I'm like, that's not the chief of fucking police. That looks like your fucking dumbass brother. And then they're like, no, that looks like that dumb blonde motherfucker that had his arms around Gene, superimposing himself on your back porch. So remember when I told you she superimposed in my brain herself, and she's dressed in all yellow. It's like a scene out of Ghost. And she's like all like, oh, she's this flowy golden flower. Oh, it's just a golden arrow. And then the guy is a big, tall, blonde guy, and he's got both his arms around her. It's like a scene out of Ghost. Like she's about ready to start making pottery and fornicating in my backyard. Okay, so they're doing their freaking thing. I've kicked them over to their area way over there. So anyway, they're like, that's that freaking guy. So whoever that guy is, that's that same guy. So anyway, so they were trying to pull a stunt there. Okay, so now last night, it was last night or the night before last night, Denzel Washington came on, and he's good. They're going to replace him. That's why he came on, because you're going to talk about Denzel Washington. Denzel will give you a hug. So anyway, Denzel Washington came on, and people keep telling me all the time, Christina, you're going to have to learn. People talking opposites, people talking opposites, people talking opposites. And people usually tell me, no, they mean that straight up. No, they mean that opposites. Because I can't even keep up with it. Because Jean lies 100% of the time. And in order to get over her copying people talking, or cutting over people talking, or cutting inside people talking, or totally absconding with the AI sound waves that people attach their voices to talk, she like takes the wave, and then she starts talking in it, and it comes out like it's them. Okay, so people have to like, and then, so there's literally, so like take a sound wave, an electronic sound wave, and it's literally like it's going up and down, like it's literally like fighting, like people jerking and pulling the sound wave back and forth, because she keeps trying to talk over the top of everyone. So that's why people talk in opposites. Sometimes she like demands people to lie and stuff. So sometimes they're just like, yeah, whatever, bitch. And they just say whatever. And then they're just like, I just have to figure out they're talking in opposites. But anyway, he comes on, and he goes, and I got to meet him before, which was really cool. So I'm like, okay, Denzel Washington did not lose his mind. So you're going to have to understand, Christina, use your brain. Like I'm talking to myself. He's talking in opposites. So anyway, so he came on in my brain. It was probably a couple years ago. I think it was in Oklahoma City. And he came on in my brain, and I could only see the back of him. And he had on a long trench coat, and he was in an airport. It looked like, I wouldn't say an airport, but he was like in a busy terminal. And he had on a hat, like a Dick Tracy hat. And he turned to the side to let me know that it was him. Like he turned his head so I could only see the back. And he let me know he's going on investigations, which people always say that. I have Black Masons on my Pinterest, and I try to move them over to people I admire. And they're like, no, they want to stay on Christina Station 918. I used to have to say, I stopped controlling my speech. I used to have my board labeled as investigations or something, but now I have it with my website. But anyway, and you have to click on the the next tab because Gene tried to hide all my pins and tried to put it onto a second tab. So you have to go to my main page, click on the board, and click on the second tab on that board, which is where all my pins are. But anyway, so she doesn't want anybody to know that she's been committing crime and that I've been turning her in. So anyway, so they're like, no, we want to stay there because we're on investigation. So like some people are there on there because they're on investigations. They want to know what's going on and they're going to figure it out. So that's what he was letting me know. And I was like, oh my God, thank God for you. So anyway, so he came on and he goes, Christina, and he goes, can't you see? And he's being sarcastic, but it's like slightly humorous, but it's not funny, but he's trying to be light. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to be light, but he's serious. So go the opposite of the light. He's dead serious, and then go opposite of what he's saying. So anyway, he's letting me know, no, Gene, stop. She's trying to control Christina's thoughts right now. So anyway, he's letting me know that Gene Roberts is getting ready to commit a terror attack in Washington is what he's letting me know. Okay, but he knows I'm not going to be able to figure it out until after the fact, which is right now. Okay, so I realized this yesterday, and he used two of my coworkers because Jean was pulling, this is what's going on. Jean is pulling her stunts committing terrorism, okay? And she's acting like she's just going to proceed with committing terrorism. Okay, so what do we know about Christina? Christina is going to continue making reports against Gene until Gene's arrested. And what do we know about Gene? Gene's going to continue committing terrorism and threatening the hell out of everyone. So this is what different groups of people have decided to do. Well, while Gene's committing terrorism, if we know she's committing terrorism, in the middle of all that, we'll figure out a way to make reports against Gene. So Denzel obviously knows I have my podcast. So he used two of my coworkers, which is really cool how he went about it, because one of my coworkers is Native American, Denzel Washington is African American, and my other coworker is Caucasian. And they were just walking by in the parking lot. It wasn't like scripted, like they're just doing whatever. Okay, Gene is icing them, but Denzel is taking advantage in a good way, like busting Gene. So you see how he's using all nationalities, and he's also making a reference to Revelations. He's making a reference to the Four Horsemen. And so he's saying, I know that Gene is a terrorist. I know that this is Revelations. And then he's saying, we know what's going on. We want it stopped. Okay. People are turning Gene in, but he's not saying that in those words at all. He goes, Christina, and he puts like this light, jokey thing of a bunch of soldiers with shields and swords and stuff, as if they were given command by their commander to go fight. And then the commander's saying, no, don't fight. So he's like standing with all his soldiers and swords and stuff. And they just got stopped for fighting and then are told to not fight. And he goes, Christina, can you see that we're trying to end the world here? And then he went off in my brain. I was like, okay, so what the heck? So I'm like, okay, I did not lose my mind. Denzel Washington is not crazy. He didn't just suddenly stop caring about the planet. And what am I always told? Denzel always talks in opposites. So when I realized while Gene is committing terrorism, he is taking advantage and using true community effort, using my coworkers, using myself, also himself, to out Gene Jernigan Roberts for committing terrorism. And what he was doing is he was leaking that Gene Roberts was about to do that shooting. So anyway, okay, and they said she's also tearing up your cover photo that you have up, but you like the one where you're saying that's your boys and all that. No matter what I do in my life, Jean's gonna tear it up. Okay, my body, my brain. She'll rip through my family. She'll spread lies. Her and her nasty little Epsteins. She'll break in and wear my clothes. She'll destroy my clothes. She'll destroy my car. She'll lie to people everywhere. She'll break shit. She'll rob banks and safes and accounts. She'll do freaking anything until she's arrested. There's no way, there's no way to live life at all without being stalked by Navy Gal 27. And all Navy Gal wants to do is just get away with it all. And she's stalking the entire city of Tulsa like that. Most of Tulsa is aware of it at this point, and I bet a lot of people are freaked out. Well, she's got this city of Tulsa held under siege, and her and her twats refuse to fucking quit. They want to run their little fake ass fucking movement. They want to cover the dumb bitch's ass. They want her to get away with the terrorism and the trafficking, and they will help her tell any lie possible to help her get away with the shit. They refuse to freaking quit. So until Jean's arrested, if I catch her committing crime, I'll make reports against her. So anyway, okay, so that's all for this recording.